The room is silent except for the steady scrape of the sponge against the tile. The familiar motion of cleaning up something no one should ever have to clean. Ayala's words linger in the air. I killed him. I had hoped I would never hear that again. But here we are. It's not the first time. And if I'm honest with myself, I knew it wouldn't be the last. The smell of bleach mixes with the faint underlying scent of blood that the cleaning product fails to fully conceal. I know how to handle this. I always have. I kneel, scrubbing, trying to think about what was once here, what is now in the boot of my car. It's strange how easy it is to clean, to forget. There's something almost clinical about it. The way the surfaces return to their sterile states, as though no one had ever lived here. No one had ever died here. The bathroom is new, like a stage that has just been set for a play. Nothing seems out of place. Nothing except for Ayola. She's perched on the toilet, her legs drawn up to her chest, her eyes wide and uncertain. But I don't say anything. I just wipe my forehead, the sweat mixing with the grime of this whole ordeal. And I keep going. I can't be angry, not now. What would be the point? What good is anger when there is still a body to get rid of? Korede, I killed him. I know. Are you angry at me? No. I don't look at her, but I can feel her gaze on my back. The sponge squeaks against the tile, a sound I've come to dread, but also one I find oddly comforting. It's the sound of the cleanup of order, of getting rid of the mess. Then what do you feel? Tired. I stand and stretch my back. The tension from hours of work seeps away as I finally give in to the ache of my muscles. We need to move the body. She looks at me, and I know what she's thinking. She's afraid. Afraid of everything. But what's left to fear? What should I do? Get your bag. I turn and walk to the door. My gloves still on, even though I know I should take them off. We head to the car, where the body waits in the boot. Still cold. The night is silent except for the hum of the engine as I drive. Ayala sits next to me, her eyes scanning the empty streets. The darkness is closing all around us. We drive to the Third Milan Bridge. It is deserted. I take the turn and head towards the water. The water where the last one went. At least, I think he won't be alone. I stop the car and we get out. Ayola hesitates for a moment, glancing back at the car. But then she follows me to the edge. This is how it has to be. I don't know if I could do this again. You won't have to. The body sinks into the water. It's done. We are in my bedroom. The air is heavy with the scent of baby powder and something else. Something that's been hanging in the air for too long. As she bats away the remnants of the evening, I do the only thing I can. I set fire to her blood-stained dress. The flames consumed it quickly, just like the last one. And I wondered if this would be the last time I'll watch her do this. Who was he? I ask, trying to anchor myself to some semblance of normalcy, as if asking for his name could somehow fix all of this. Femi, she replies, her voice soft but steady, as though she's already moving past it. I scribble the name down in a notebook, a small notebook that I bought on a whim, inspired by a TED Talk I once saw. The notebook has been mostly empty since then, but now it's filled with names, moments, details I can't erase. And his surname? I ask. I should have taken his wallet, I think to myself. But the thought passes quickly. We both know the names, the details don't matter. Not now. She speaks again, and the words hang between us like smoke. It's not my fault, I don't know what she means. Is she talking about the surname or is she talking about the death? Either way, I don't respond. Instead, I press on. Tell me what happened. Femi wrote me a poem. I wait for her to continue. It's always the poetry, the adoration. She's drawn to it like a magnet. She was moved by this, I know. She's always moved by the worship of her merits, always looking for someone to elevate her. And then, I agreed to be his woman. On our 1 month anniversary, I stabbed him. She says it so casually, as though it was nothing. You didn't mean to kill him? No! He was angry. He yelled at me. I didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted to warn him off. The knife was for protection. She was protecting herself. I didn't even ask why she was carrying a knife. It doesn't matter now. The damage is done. And then I stabbed him. Once, twice, to make sure. The hospital's decision to change the nurse's uniform from white to pale pink was supposed to be a breath of fresh air, a new beginning. But for some reason, I couldn't let go of the whites. Tade notices this. I don't know why it matters, but it does. What's your secret? He touches the hem of my sleeve, as if the fabric might hold the answer. And it feels like he's touching my skin. Heat rushes through me, a strange electric sensation that has nothing to do with cleaning supplies or white uniforms. Google is your friend. I hand him the chart for the next patient, trying to steer the conversation towards something safe. Tade laughs, glancing down at the chart. He groans at me. Mrs. Rotinu again? I think she just likes seeing your face, doctor. He looks up at me, grinning. I try to return the smile, but my mouth goes dry. There's something about him that makes everything harder. As I turn to leave the room, I swing my hips a little, more than necessary. Ayola's way. Maybe he notices. Maybe he doesn't. As my hand reaches for the doorknob, Tade calls after me. His voice makes my heart skip a beat. It's as if he's pulled me back from the edge of something I didn't want to feel. Are you okay? Mm, you are walking funny. Oh, the shame. I can feel it flush in my face. I wish I could laugh it off, make it sound casual, but instead, I stammer out an explanation that's so obviously a lie. I pulled a muscle. I turn quickly, hurrying out of the room, too embarrassed to say anything more. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but the heat on my face won't go away. Mrs. Rotunu is seated in reception when I arrive. She has a whole leather sofa to herself. Mrs. Rotunu stops powdering her face as I approach. Is the doctor ready to see me now? I nod, and she stands, clicking the powder case shut with a flourish. I gesture for her to follow me, but she places a hand on my shoulder, stopping me. I know the way. I sigh inwardly, letting her go ahead. She's been in and out of here enough times to memorize the hallways. If only she would listen to the doctor. But it's not just about the treatment. She wants Tade's attention, and she gets it with every visit. I can't blame her. Tade has this way about it makes you feel like you're the only person in the world when he looks at you. His smile is generous, and his gaze never slips away, never glosses over. You could tell him anything, and for a moment, you might believe it matters. But it doesn't matter to me. Not really. I redirect my steps towards the reception desk and slam my clipboard down, hard enough to wake Yinka, who has found a way to sleep with her eyes open. Bumi gives me a look annoyed that I disturbed her. What the hell, Korede? Don't wake me up unless there's a fire. This is a hospital, not a bed and breakfast. She mutters bitch under her breath, but I ignore it. Something else has caught my attention. I let out a frustrated breath and head towards the third floor, where Mohammed should be. I sent him there an hour ago, and sure enough, he's still there, flirting with Asibi, the other cleaner, who has eyelashes so thick they could almost be a weapon. When she spots me coming, she runs. Mohammed turns to face me. Ma, I was just. I cut him off before he can finish his lame excuse. Did you wipe the windows in the reception with hot water and 1/4 distilled vinegar like I'd asked you to? Yes, ma. Okay, show me the vinegar. He freezes, shifting from foot to foot, unable to lie convincingly. Unfortunately, that's not ground for dismissal, though it's tempting. I no see where I go buy am from. I give him directions to the local store and send him off. I call him back to clean up after himself. This place is full of distractions, and none of them are good ones. Back on the ground floor, Yinka is back to her sleep, eyes wide open, staring at nothing. The image of her unblinking reminds me uncomfortably of Femi. I blink and push the thoughts away. There's work to be done and patience to see. I turn to Bumi. Is Mrs. Rosunu done? No. I sigh, my patience thinning. Other patients are waiting, but all the doctor seems to be caught up is long, drawn out conversations. If I had my way, there would be fixed consultation times. That's how it should be. But then, it's never that simple. I move to room 313, where Muhtar Yudhai lies in a coma. His body is wasting away, and if he doesn't wake soon, there won't be much left of him. I pull the chair from the corner of the room and sit beside his bed, resting my head in my hands. I can feel a heartache coming on, the pressure building my eyes. I came here to talk about Ayola, but all I think about is Taddy. Isn't it expensive to keep him in a coma like this? Do you want to pull the plug? She was offended by the question, but I wasn't. She was only worried about money. And yet, here I am, sitting by Muta's side, watching him fade away while his family waits for the inevitable. The conversation has lingered in my mind, and I can't help but think maybe it's time for him to wake up. Maybe it's time for me to stop dreaming about things that would never happen. I wish Tade would see me, really see me, just for once. I called the air conditioner repairman 2 hours ago and I'm still waiting. I'm dying here. I'm dying here. She moans dramatically, choosing to ignore the fact that I'm suffering too. Our house girl comes in and places a fan faces Ayola, totally ignoring the sweat dripping down my face. I retreat to the bathroom, dragging myself through the exhaustion, filling the basin with cold water and splashing my face. My mind drifts to thoughts of Femi. What was his fate? What would it be like floating under the Third Milan Bridge? The bridge itself has seen so many deaths. A recent tragedy comes to mind. A BRT bus had plunged into the lagoon, killing everyone aboard. And still, the driver kept shouting, Osa straight! Osa straight! Straight to the lagoon! As if death had become just another route. I need to pee. I leave her to it and collapse onto my bed, enjoying the rare moments of solitude. But it doesn't last. Femi's face appears in my mind, as it always does now. If I had met him, maybe I could have seen the temper she always talked about. Maybe I could have steered her away from him. The toilet flushes, and Ayola's phone vibrates next to me. An idea forms. Her phone is unlocked. 1234, the weak passcode she uses. I scroll through her selfies until I find one of him, a picture where he's smiling, but his eyes are laughing. Ayola is in the shot, of course, looking as beautiful as always, but his energy dominates the image. I smile back at him, even though he isn't there anymore. What are you doing? You got a message. I swipe quickly to return her phone to its home screen. I don't want her to catch on. I see her post, now trending under the hashtag Femi Durand is missing. There's a picture of them together, with a message begging anyone with the information to come forward. She's playing the grieving girlfriend, the last person to see him alive. Her phone rings, and as I watch her pick it up, setting it on loudspeaker. Did he tell you if he's going anywhere? No, ma, I left him pretty late. He wasn't at work the next day. Sometimes he used to jog at night. I told him it wasn't safe. Femi's mother begins to cry on the line, her voice breaking with emotion. It's raw and it hits too close to home. I feel the tears building up, my own sorrow joining hers, even though I know I have no right to cry. Ayola starts crying too. She's always been like this. My emotions trigger her, no matter how detached she acts. Eventually, the sobs turn into hiccups, and we are left in silence. Keep praying for my boy. She hangs up, and I turn to Ayola furious. What the hell is the matter with you? What? Do you not realize the gravity of what you've done? Are you enjoying this? I hand her a tissue, then take one for myself. Her eyes go dark, and she starts twirling her dreadlocks, her voice dropping low. These days, you look at me like I'm a monster. I don't think you are. This is victim shaming, you know. Victim? She says it like she's won. But I cannot reconcile with her spotless record. No bruises, no marks. What does she want me to say? What am I supposed to say with all of this? I count the seconds, waiting for her to say something. Anything that makes sense. I watched my mother struggle with her gele. She stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the fabric, her fingers moving with the precision of someone who had done this 100 times before. I sighed quietly, standing to help. My mother's voice broke the silence. The question hanging between us was like a weight. Going to Shokwe's daughter's wedding today? You two should come. You might meet someone there. My mother's voice pulled me from my thoughts. No, thank you, I replied, stiffening as I spoke. I wasn't interested in meeting anyone, and especially not at a wedding. The pressure to find a suitable husband to live up to my mother's unspoken expectations was suffocating. Ayola, ever the diplomat, smiled and shook her head, clearly uninterested as well. Mom, however, wasn't deterred. Korede, you know your sister will go if you do. Don't you want her to marry?